What's going on, guys? Back again. So I just came back from a night run. So this past week, I have been going on little short runs around the block, around maybe 2 kilometers or something like that. And not to sound arrogant or anything like that, but usually I'm capable of doing 5 kilometer, 7 kilometer long runs to even up to 10 kilometers. Long distance in general, I'm able to do. But recently, I've decided to do a little bit less so I'm able to recover the next day quicker. And I've noticed that after this whole week of me constantly running every night, just 1.5 to 2 kilometers per night, I've noticed that my legs don't feel that sore. I've also noticed that like when I run, I have a better pace. Like my pace has improved compared to when I was running on average 5 kilometers every other day, 7 kilometers every other day. I still felt really sore and I felt like my pace wasn't good for running, but my pace has improved a lot. And it made me think about the fact that you don't always need to go hard in life. You don't always need to go hard in the gym 24/7. You don't need to be in the gym for like 2 hours straight, doing chest, doing triceps, going hard, going hard. Because sometimes your body needs a break. Sometimes your body actually improves when you do less. If you're constantly going hard every single time, you're overexerting yourself. You're overtraining. It's gonna take longer for your muscles to heal. You're not gonna progress as much compared to you doing a little bit at a time. But I think a lot of us think that we need to go hard. Because we watch a lot of David Goggins motivational videos or whatever, and we feel like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do 15 kilometers straight for a run. You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the gym for almost 3 hours. I'm going to do 1 hour of chest, the second hour of pure triceps, and then the last hour just pure cardio. But what you're doing is you are actually you're damaging yourself. You're sabotaging yourself. You're not giving your body enough time to rest. Your body doesn't need to go in overload mode every single time. It's okay to go hard once in a blue moon. But if you are stuck with this habit of constantly thinking that, you know what, I'm just going to keep, whenever I rested for 5 days and then on the sixth day, I'm just going to freaking go ham in the gym. I'm going to freaking go for like a 25 to 30 kilometer run after a 5 day rest. That is the biggest mistake you can make, bro. You got to take it slow. You got to do a little bit at a time. And for people who have been working out for decades, I think a lot of them understand this. A lot of them understand the limits of their body. And a lot of them know that if they continue to go hard at an old age compared to how they were when they were younger, they're going to injure themselves. And you can still get results by just doing a little bit every time. It's not going to hinder your progress. It's not going to make you shittier than the other athlete, who works out 3 times a week. No. What matters is you're consistent, but you do a little bit at a time, and you're giving your body time to rest. And this concept of not going hard can apply to everything in your life. If you're constantly in grind mode, you work 12 hours a day, and you right away, when you go home, you start working on your side hustle, your e-commerce business, you're going to drain yourself. You're going to just fall asleep on your desk. If you're going to overstudy, you're going to pull all-nighters all day, all night, all week long for a test. When the time the test comes, you're so mentally drained that you don't even remember what the hell you did, what the hell you studied. It's like we have a desperation inside of us to be great, right? But we feel like this pressure around us is causing us to go hard and rush ourselves, and that's how we can improve, by going hard. No, that's not true. That is not true. Do a little bit at a time, and you will gain better results. It takes time. And going back to exercise, it's the same thing. Sometimes you gotta give your body rest. Sometimes you gotta give your body less to do. If you know that your right arm is capable of doing 15 reps for bicep curls, and you know that your left arm can only do about 10, do 10 in the right as well. Balance it out, because if you just do 15 that you know you can, you're gonna have a little bit of like less composition in your body. You're gonna look a little asymmetrical. Do what equalize your body, man. You don't always need to go ham. This concept can also be applied in martial arts. A lot of the times, a lot of athletes, they overtrain, they go hard, they go hard, they go hard. And then when it comes down to the actual match, they're overtrained their body, so their body is recovering from the training that they did. So they have pain in their arms, they're recovering from muscle fatigue, and that's going to affect their performance compared to the other guy who rested for 2 or 3 times, or maybe did a walk, 20-minute walk a couple of days before the match, who did some light weight a couple of days before the match, is way more prepared than the guy who went hard 24/7. That other guy's going to win. When you look at martial arts, when you see people fighting, right? The guy who's the most relaxed, the guy who's really just in flow, the one who's calm, the one who doesn't need to overexert his energy, there's a higher chance that he's gonna win the fight compared to the guy who's stiff, who's always like throwing haymakers all the time and just going hard. He's gonna tire himself out. You don't need to always go hard, bro. You do not need to always go hard in life. Take it slow, and you will gain a lot more results. It's the same with relationships. When you're socializing with people, you don't need to always be the best speaker. You don't need to always outshow someone or outshine someone. You don't always need to reveal everything about yourself. Take it slow. Talk about small little things, man, and gradually it'll lead up to something bigger. Be humble, be a listener. You don't need to always go hard. You don't need to always do that. When we get older, we feel like we have this pressure, as I said, that we need to constantly grind and not waste time, in our lives and shit like that. But I believe that we do need to waste time sometimes. We do need to spend time with ourselves and not do shit and enjoy our lives and relax and kick back and have a rest day. Go for a walk instead of hitting the gym. Your body's gonna thank you later. I'm telling you. I've noticed that when I take 5-6 days off from the gym, and for those 5-6 days I just go for walks. When I go back into the gym, bro, I'm in beast mode. I am in absolute beast mode. I'm going ham in the gym. But if I'm going to the gym every single day of the week, right? 5-6 days a week, 7 days a week for a month. On the 5th week, my body feels so sore, bro. I cannot get to that PR for bench press or deadlifts. But when I took a break, I was able to hit it. And in fact, I felt stronger. And also my inflammation went down. I was getting inflammation in my elbows. I was getting inflammation in my hips. But the moment I started to do walks, the moment I stopped going to the gym for 3-4 days, and when I actually went back, bro, I felt like a brand new person. A brand new person. So anyways, this whole entire conversation started from me just deciding to do less. And sometimes less is more. Always remember that. You don't need to always go hard. Thank you for watching.